Okay, I'm Brandon Graber. I teach Algebra 1 at Northview. And that's how I kind of use Canvas in my classroom a little bit. As you can see on my homepage, it's very basic. I just have resources and modules. I don't want to confuse the students too much. But in my resources, I have just the class resources that I use a lot. We have our textbook. We have Delta Math. I use that resource quite a bit. I have Desmos, an online calculator stuff we use in class. I have some other helpful resources we're able to search and stuff like that. I have Khan Academy. They can tend to go to watch there and watch help videos, online calculator, and like a graphing calculator that we use a lot. One thing I need to add though to that, I know for sure, is my like YouTube channel, because I have them watch quite a few videos on YouTube for additional help. Another thing that I use in my class a lot, or how I use it, is modules. And modules here at Northview is we have them posted by weekly, weekly or daily, however you kind of set up. But I have mine by weekly, or by each week, I should say. And they're dated. I have the title name of the unit that we're covering. I try and give a title for each day's activity or whatever assignment with the date, and then so they know exactly where it comes from to reference back later on, is how I roll with mine. And inside each of these, I use Google Docs. So any edit I make on a Google Doc, they automatically can see. So if I hyperlink stuff or I make an error or anything like that, or I have to change anything real quick, I don't have to go in and individually change these in here. I have the Google Doc saved for next year. I can pull it right back up, and that kind of thing. But also I just have it so when they see it, it's just in a Google Doc. They can scroll, they can hyperlink, and it's all formatted the way I want it formatted. I do need to make sure I do this, but it needs to be accessible. I should take my highlighter off because it's not accessible by everybody if it's highlighted. But then I always put a due date and that kind of thing so they can check. One thing that my students do often on here is I have them submit pictures of their practice work instead of turning it in. So for instance, on this assignment on 4/19 Monday, so April 19th, my students had to submit they had the same thing, checklist, has all their information in here they can complete. And then I use this is where they turn it in, so and I can grade on Speedgrader, which is really nice. I can flip through my students by class, by overall, everything like that. It gives me analytics, shows me who's completed it and who's not. For instance, this student here, she has completed it. She's turned in her pictures. I can leave feedback if I need to. In the comments over here on the right, I can leave a photo feedback. I can leave a video feedback and audio. Those are features I've used. I can reassign assignments if needed based off the feedback. Okay. And she can upload multiple pictures, which they do for me if it's a front or if it's multiple sided and stuff like that. It's really easy to flip back and forth to grade and that kind of thing. And my students use this a lot. And then when that allows me then to use the Gradebook feature, which I use quite often, which then gives me analytics. I can run analytics on how many people completed the assignment, what percentage of each class, and all that stuff. And it tells me if it's late by having it purple or the reddish color, blue if it's late. And it tells me if I've graded it or not based on the icon in there. And it shows me what I need to be grading and what stuff. And that gives me all the resources and stuff like that to use so I can keep track of stuff. Because I don't put all this stuff in Infinite Campus. So it's kind of like a secondary gradebook that they have. Another thing that I use, which in my classes a lot, is on my assignments, I use Edpuzzle quite a bit. So my students will have a watch an Edpuzzle, but instead of having them go to another link, I'm able to just have them watch it directly on Canvas using integrated apps. So they don't have to surf to another one. They can just click here, watch it, do the answers and everything from here. Obviously, this is the teacher end, but this would be where the students would see it, is right below my daily checklist or whatever you have in your rich content editor or the content editor when you put that stuff in there. Another thing that I use a lot is Jamboards, which is the Google assignment feature. So for instance, my 5-12 assignment, which is May 12th, you can see I have it titled and everything. Same kind of thing. They still have their checklist that they have, but then it tells them where to go, and there's a Jamboard at the bottom, which then they can complete, and I can still grade through this. It'll send my grades like I normally do. Now, obviously, this is the teacher end, but I can still do my Google assignments and all that and all those cool features and that kind of thing, and I can grade and everything just through this. And they can still complete Jamboards, submit Google Docs, and other things like that. So that's just a few ways I use this in my class. I've used discussion boards. I've used, they've had to submit links to me before to Google Docs, where then I can just use it in the Speedgrader feature and all that good kind of thing. If you ever want to know any more how I can use it in my class, just feel to give me reach out to me or anything like that.